My name is Kiati. I'm head of Joshi Advocates. Thank you very much for joining us. This is our first video of our birthday series. So thank you for joining. This video is going to be on merger between family and immigration. So what relationship does family law and immigration have, and the marriage between the two? So we have for you Justin, who's a family lawyer, and she's here to answer a few of your questions. So let's begin. So Jocelyn, thank you very much for coming.
No problem.
And helping subscribers and our viewers with more information on the meeting between family and immigration.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Okay, the first question is, can an unlawful migrant obtain a family court order for contact when the contact is in respect of an EA national European child or a British child?
Yes, they can, and in a lot of situations, the family judge will not interfere what's happening in the immigration law, and so do the immigration judge. They will not interfere in what's family or what happens in the family court.
But there are situations, would you say, where the family court proceedings are stayed or adjourned for a short time in order to wait for an immigration matter to be resolved?
Yes.
Yeah. So in a way, it does affect.
Yeah, it does affect, but both the judges, they wouldn't interfere when they are making decision on that particular case.
So you're saying when a family court is looking at whether the father, for example, who's unlawful in the UK, seeks contact with a British child or European national child, that family court judge would not look at the immigration side of things?
Yes, they will not.
They will not. So
not.
that means that if you're an unlawful migrant and you have British or European national children, you needn't fear. You will have access to your children. You have the right to access. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah? So I don't think that is a negative, and that's very much positive. And
yes,
this should encourage you to come forward. You should not be limited by thinking, oh my goodness, I have no status. I can't assert my right as a father or the mother to access contact with my children.
And of course there will be proceedings where they need to put in proper applications, seek legal advice to apply for contact, with whether it's direct contact or supervised contact through a family lawyer.
So if the migrant is unlawful, would the family court judge say, no, you should just have indirect contact, or no, you can have limited contact, supervised contact?
It will very much depends on the situation. It will also depends on who is the other side of the parents and what are they doing here and there.
So let's just ask the question that I think a lot of you have in your mind. Say an unlawful migrant has issued proceedings in order to obtain contact with a British child or a European national child. Will the immigration come and knock on his door and detain him? I think that's a question that you have in your mind. Will they suffer in any way from the immigration authorities?
The immigration authorities and the family court, they are both different authorities. They would not, and I believe they should not even share information in situation where enforcement team coming to knock on your doors is not directly coming from the family court. Thank you
very much. Now, say that the unlawful migrant has a deportation order pending because Home Office is saying you've committed this crime and for which we want to ask you to leave the UK. But that unlawful migrant has pending family court proceedings. If the family court proceedings are pending in respect of, say, children, how would that affect the immigration side, for example, deportation order in the immigration court or with the Home Office?
Well, I believe you will be in a better position to answer this because if there is a pending family court matter, from the immigration perspective, it will help the case.
It will help the family court case, or will it help
the immigration? It will help the immigration case.
Right, why?
Because you can tell the immigration judge that he has family matter pending, his rights access to justice, and therefore he can't be deported at time being until the matter has been resolved. But in terms of between immigration judges and family judges, there wouldn't be any direct intersect between each other, as in immigration judge wouldn't speak to family judge to reach an agreement on certain decision.
Good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This may be an easier way to understand it.
Thank you. So what you are saying is, even when someone is facing deportation from the Home Office, that person still has the right to access contact with their children?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, you mentioned earlier contact orders, whether they are direct or indirect or supervised. Could you tell us more about that, please?
Direct contact could be some sort of like residence order, where the judge may order you and your child stay together, and you are the legal guardian to the child. Indirect orders such as supervised contact, where the immigration judge may order you to spend time with your child at the supervised contact center. Sometimes it will be supervised by a professional party. That could be people from the council, people from private bodies. Sometimes you need to provide some sort of report. They will need to provide some sort of report in terms of the supervised contact.
You mean like CAFCAS?
Yeah, CAFCAS.
So tell the viewers, what is CAFCAS and what is their role?
So CAFCAS is a third party, is an independent body where in a lot of in family cases, CAFCAS will take a very important role, because they will produce a report in analysis of both parents, and the judge will take the consideration into the CAFCAS reports in terms of their order or any sort of determination, because they treat CAFCAS as a separate authority body,
like independent assessor
body.
of
Yes.
the situation between
Indeed.
the couple
Yes.
and the child.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, say that there's unlawful migrant, and there is a other parent who's lawful in the UK, and there's a British child. Now, what weight, if any, would the agreement between the two parents carry? So say the two parents come to an agreement saying unlawful migrant father, for example, can come and see the child twice a week, and the mother signs it, the father signs it, and that's it. How far can that agreement go to assist in preserving the family life for the children regarding immigration law?
So, for my understanding of your questions, means where both parties, the couple, agreed into some sort of contact or between the couple to the child, they can easily enter into a consent order, and it will make it will make the family court proceeding a lot much more effective, quicker, and easier.
Thank you. So, what you're saying is there's a written agreement in place between the two parents,
Yes.
and both sign it.
Yes.
And you said something about a consent order. Could you tell us more about what that is?
Basically getting two couples agree on the terms that they have agreed before a judge, and then they just need to bring it to the court and get it agreed by a judge in a family court. So the order will be made by consent. Then the judge wouldn't interfere if the order has been made by consent. For instance, father wants to see the child 7 days in a week, and the mother's agreed. Then if both parties agreed, the judge wouldn't interfere. So order will be granted by consent.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your very valuable knowledge with us in respect of family law. And thank you, and its relationship with immigration law. I think the key thing, if anything you take away from this video, is to understand and appreciate that even though you have no status in the UK, that does not stop you from asserting your rights as a parent when it comes to a child, because ultimately the aim is to protect the rights of a child and what is in the best interest of the child. So keeping the best interest of the child principle in your mind, take relevant action, and know that the family court is there to protect you, and the immigration courts and immigration home office, they are not going to be interfering in the process. If anything, if you need more questions, contact us, details below, subscribe, and I'll see you again in our next video. Thank you very much. See you soon. Take care. Thank you, Justin. Thank you.